It's easy to fill your new clinic or a new associate's book when you know how. And I found a 3-step process which actually feels like cheating, because I did it in our clinic and we had 212 pre-booked, prepaid patients for opening day, and we did it all without using a marketing agency. And I'm going to show you the exact steps for you to do it in inside your clinic too. So let's go into the office and I will show you what that looks like, the 3-step process, and how you can implement it without using a marketing agency. So let's say your target is to have 212 people booked in for opening day into your brand new clinic, and you're going to go to your agency with that target of 212. Ideally, you'd want to start really like 3 months before, because the agency may say, we need some time to build up into it, all that kind of junk which you usually hear. Which I get, but for the plan, which I'm going to show you in just a second, we're going to focus this on just 8 weeks. So let's take into account that you're also going to do 2 lots of 3K for the agency. Let's say the agency costs you $3,000 per month. So we do plus 2 times $3,000. And we know that we want 212 people booked in for opening day, same as what we had. I'm just going to show you these as an example. And let's say you convert 30% of all leads, being conservative. Let's take that as a good number. And let's say this is for a $47 offer, and a cost per lead is $15. So let's go through these numbers on how we can make this work. So at a 30% conversion rate, you would need 707 leads to hit the 212. At $15 per lead, which is what we've said, then you would be spending a total of $10,605 on marketing, just to get the leads, just to get these 200 people booked into the clinic. But wait, we've also got the 2 months of agency fees that we've got to put on top. So that would be a total of $16,605 just to make 200 new patients, or get 200 new patients in the door. But this isn't necessarily bad, because if you've spent $16,000 on advertising, maybe you made $100,000, it's a complete different story. But don't get excited, because it's not. So for a total spend on $16,000 on marketing, taking into account all of these numbers, do you know how much you would have made? You would have made a total of $9,964. So down about $7,000. And of course, we did this for opening day, but you can just compress or extend the time frames as much as you want. Regardless, if you want to get 200 patients, whether that's over the next year or whether that's over the next 30 days, whatever it is, at these numbers, which you'd probably argue are very conservative numbers, which a lot of clinics run, regardless of where you are in the world, a cost per lead of $15, wherever you are, that's pretty standard, that can be pretty good. And agency fees of about $3,000, again, that's pretty standard. You are always going to lose money on this front end. Getting people in for a consultation, an initial consultation, you will always lose money. Now, there are a few different things that we can obviously change. So we could obviously increase the price of the initial consultation and bump that up to $97. Typically when we do this, it varies from place to place, but you might see conversion rate drops, you might see cost per lead increase. So it's going to have a knock-on effect across all these different areas, and we can't just be guaranteed on that one specific place. And I don't want you to think I'm against like increasing the price or anything like that, because just last week I told someone to increase the price on their consultation. But it's got to work economically, and we've got to have the data to back it up. But when you look at it from these numbers that we have right here, this is just economically stuck in Sucksville. You will never break even on these numbers. If you are running this type of offer right now, you will never break even. It does not work. It costs you about $50 to get someone to give you 47. So you will never make money on this. You will always be stuck in this position. And this is where agencies will say, but when you factor in the back end and when people are doing the payment plans on the care plans and things like that, yada, yada, yada. Which, yes, it is true. But fundamentally, from a marketing perspective, you are losing money to acquire a customer. And that can be fine in some different models, but from a local business, we want you to make money acquiring a customer. Okay, this is the 3-step new clinic or associate launch plan that you can use. It's what we use in our clinic. Whether you want to use it in yours or not, it's up to you. It's what we did, and we got 212 pre-booked, prepaid patients for opening day. Let's go through it. Okay, so the first step is one which a lot of people really skip or miss out completely, which is emails. So what we need to do is to start this 10 weeks out. The reason for this is we want to bring people along on the journey with you. We want them to feel part of it, part of the family, because you are building this brand new clinic. People must come along. And when we tie this into everything else that you're going to be doing, people are going to be booking in. They could be booking in 8 or more weeks out from actually opening day or when you get the new associate on board. People will lose interest and people will forget. So this is where you must bring them along on the journey. The reason why we start this first is because we need to have this planned out. We need to have a few emails, like several weeks of emails already planned out, because a lot of people will do this and say, oh, but I don't want to bother my people and things like that, which I get, but people don't get that bothered that quickly. You need to bring people along on the journey, which then will lead you to step 2. And this was all planned before as well, which are getting events and talks booked in. So really, ultimately, when we look at this plan, this has been planned 16 to 12 weeks out at least, because we need to get these talks booked. You start doing the talks around 8 weeks out, because then that gives people enough time. It's not too far out that people lose interest, because 8 weeks is not too bad. And again, it depends on the time of year when you're doing this. We did this each time over the summer. So then with this, people go on holiday, people are away, so it doesn't actually feel too long, and the summer goes really, really quick, especially because we're in the UK, we don't get much of it. The way in which we're going to do this is we go to local businesses, organisations, sports teams, anything like that, and you're going to do these teams. Other good ones are like, you can go to networking groups, they're okay, or like the elderly groups, can't remember what, like the Rotary clubs, things like that. They're great, go and do talks there. The talks are going to be things which are going to be bringing people into your world as well. And maybe you already do this, but don't do just hard sales. Deliver on value. Essentially, you're bringing your clinic to them without doing like adjustments and treatments, things like that. The events that you can do are local fairs, fetes, farmers markets, festivals, things like that. And they are absolute gold mines. When you get to good festivals, good fairs, things like that, you could easily be signing up. We did like 18 people in a day. Say you're going to be doing that every weekend, or you can then go to gyms and do events in different local gyms as well, which you may already be doing. A lot of people do that, but go to these markets, the fairs, fetes, festivals. They are absolute gold mines. To be honest, you can fill your schedule or your new associate just by doing these 2. It's been done in our clinic before, or the clinic I worked at before, so these 2 can be done, but I've combined them together because they're sort of similar. And the final thing that you need to be running with this is run paid ads. So these are social media meta ads. Start these 4 weeks out. The reason 4 weeks out is it's not too far out that people will wait. Anything longer than 4 weeks, people switch off. By doing this, it will supercharge your growth, because you're going to get a whole bunch of leads coming in who are going to be really qualified if you set up your ads properly, and you'll be able to fill the books very quickly. Key things that we must think of with this as well is when you get these new people in, you've got to have the team on board to be able to handle the calls and the leads coming in. So from this point onwards, you need to have front desk staff or someone managing these leads. Secondly, you can use one of the most powerful words in marketing, which is new. Brand new clinic opening, new practitioner on board who does speciality in XYZ, whatever it is, that is key. And ultimately, with all this, we must build trust. One of the ways which you're going to be building trust to go alongside these ads is by posting on organic social media, which should have been happening the whole time. That's just a given these days. You must be doing that. But doing these 3 things, this will fill your clinic. This will get you, in our case, 212 pre-booked, prepaid patients for opening day. We also did it again the second year, and we went from 0 to over 200 adjustments a week within just 7 weeks from running this same setup. And there's one more thing which I want to give for you, a bonus one, which is throw a party, have fun. So once the clinic is opened, you can invite all these people that you went to do the talks with, and more local businesses, and more teams, or anyone who came in through an ad, invite them in. Anyone who came as a lead, invite them in to this party. Obviously, if you've got enough space, we don't want to completely cram in the clinic. Ultimately, local businesses and teams, they are your gold mines. But with this, when we threw our party, we invited the local mayor, we invited local businesses, we invited local gyms, so the managers of the gyms and things like that came along. We invited local barbers. So then it's people who would be talking to other people. That's who we invited into that party. Plus, it's a good way for you to let your hair down. Get a few drinks on, get a few bits of food and things like that involved. Everyone loves a party. And then in that party, that's when you can show different examples of what you do. You can do a little presentation, another mini talk. You can do whether you want to do a couple of adjustments if you want to do that, spinal screenings, anything else like that. That's what you can do there. That's what we did. We did some screenings, showed a few adjustments. That is then how we managed to fill a clinic. It didn't just work for our clinic as well. I then showed the exact same setup to Dakota. He got 70 people booked in for opening day in his clinic, and Ash, he got 52 people booked in for opening day in his brand new clinic. Both had been associates previously, both managed to fill their books pretty quickly just by implementing the same plan. But you won't get the same results unless you set up your ads correctly using the 4S method, which I'll show you in this video here.